The humidity of Port Moresby clings to everything. It is June 1943. The air smells of aviation fuel, wet earth, and the metallic tang of impending violence. On the tarmac sits a machine that nobody else wanted. Tail number 41 to 2666. They call her Old 666. She is a B-17 flying fortress, but she is a cursed bird. She had been parked in the boneyard, ridden with shrapnel holes, heavy, sluggish, a coffin with wings. But Captain Jay Zeamer and his crew of misfits, men who couldn't fit in anywhere else, saw something in her. They didn't just fix her, they turned her into a porcupine. They scavenged guns from wrecked planes, mounting 19 machine guns where a standard B-17 carried 13. They put a fixed .50 caliber in the nose that the pilot could fire like a fighter jet. They were looking for a fight. And today, over the Solomon Islands, they are going to find one that defies the laws of probability. The mission is voluntary. That's the first thing you have to understand. Nobody ordered them to fly solo into the heart of the Japanese stronghold over Buka. They need photos for the upcoming invasion. The brass said it was suicide to send a squadron, so they sent one plane, just one. Zeamer pushes the throttles forward. The 4 Wright Cyclone engines roar, a dissonant harmony of raw horsepower shaking the aluminum frame. The runway rushes by, a blur of tropical green, until the heavy beast lifts. The landing gear groans as it tucks into the wings. They climb into the blinding white emptiness of the Pacific sky. Inside, the crew is silent. They know the reputation of Buka. They know the Japanese Navy has a heavy presence there. But they are the eager Beavers, the crew that volunteers for the missions no one else will touch. Hours pass. The drone of the engines becomes hypnotic. Second Lieutenant Joseph Sarnowski, the bombardier, sits in the glass nose. He isn't looking at the bomb sight. He is gripping his twin, .50 caliber machine guns. The air gets colder as they reach altitude. Frost begins to form on the plexiglass. Below them, the ocean is a vast, indifferent sheet of blue. Then, the target comes into view. Buka. The airstrip cuts a scar through the jungle. Zeamer steadies the plane for the photo run. It has to be steady, straight and level, the most dangerous position for a bomber to be in. Bandits! 12 o'clock high! The voice crackles over the interphone. It's Sarnowski. The calm in his voice is terrifying. Zeamer looks up. High above, against the harsh sun, they look like gnats. But they aren't gnats. They are Mitsubishi A6M0s. And there isn't just 1 or 2. There are 5, then 10, then 17. They are swarming like angry wasps disturbed from a nest. The Japanese pilots see a lone B-17, a straggler, easy prey. They don't know this is old 666. They don't know about the extra guns. They dive. The first wave comes head on. This is a game of chicken at 300 miles an hour. The Zeros aim for the cockpit, intending to kill the pilots and send the giant plane spiraling down. Zeamer doesn't flinch. He triggers the nose gun. Tracers scream out, a green line of fire meeting the oncoming white bursts of the Zeros' cannons. The impact is catastrophic. A 20mm cannon shell smashes through the plexiglass nose. It explodes, sending a storm of shrapnel into Sarnowski. He is thrown back, his body riddled with metal. In the cockpit, the instrument panel disintegrates. Zeamer feels a sledgehammer blow to his legs. Another shell has torn through the floor, shattering his left leg and shredding his arms. The cockpit fills with smoke, debris, and the freezing wind howling through the shattered nose. The plane lurches. Blood pools on the rudder pedals. Zeamer fights the yoke, his arms screaming in agony. He checks the nose. Sarnowski is down. But then, movement. The bombardier, mortally wounded, drags himself back to his guns. He knows the Zeros are coming back for the kill. With his last ounce of strength, Sarnowski opens fire. He catches a Zero in the belly, watching it burst into flames and streak past the wing. He collapses over his weapon, a warrior to the end. Now the fight becomes a brawl. The Zeros realize this isn't a normal bomber. They surround it. Attacks come from the beam, the tail, the vertical. The waist gunners are dancing in a sea of spent brass casings, the floor slick with oil and hydraulic fluid. The sound is deafening, a continuous, thundering rattle of 19 machine guns firing in desperation. The smell of cordite is choking. Zeamer is fading. He is losing too much blood. His vision tunnels. But he keeps his hands on the controls. He banks the massive bomber violently, turning into the attacks a maneuver bombers aren't supposed to do. He is flying the fortress like a fighter. Every time a Zero tries to line up a shot, Zeamer ruins the angle. The Japanese pilots are confused. Why won't this thing die? Smoke trails from engine number 3. The oxygen system is shot out. They have to drop altitude or they will pass out from hypoxia. Zeamer pushes the nose down. The B-17 groans, rivets popping, as it dives toward the ocean. The Zeros follow, hungry sharks chasing a bleeding whale. For 45 minutes, the battle rages. 45 minutes of sustained terror. Most dogfights last seconds. This is an eternity. The gunners are running low on ammo. The radio operator is firing one-handed while trying to tap out a distress signal. The top turret gunner spins endlessly, tracking targets that move too fast to hit. Zeamer maneuvers into a cloud bank. The white mist swallows the plane. For a moment, there is silence, save for the ragged breathing of the crew and the sputtering of the damaged engines. They wait. Seconds tick by. Do the Zeros follow? They break out of the clouds. The sky behind them is empty. The Japanese have turned back, low on fuel and ammunition, perhaps spooked by the unkillable ghost plane. But the battle isn't over. They are hundreds of miles from home. The plane is a wreck. The hydraulic system is gone. The brakes are gone. The flaps are gone. And the pilot is bleeding to death. Zeamer drifts in and out of consciousness. The co-pilot tries to take over, but Zeamer refuses. He knows the feel of the damaged plane better than anyone. He has to get them back. He hallucinates, seeing the runway and the waves below, shaking his head to clear the fog. The flight back is a blur of pain and endurance. The crew patches up the wounded as best they can. They jettison everything that isn't bolted down to lighten the load. Finally, the coast of New Guinea appears. A ragged green line on the horizon. They approach the airstrip at Dobodura. Without flaps or brakes, they are coming in hot. Zeamer lines it up. The ground rushes up too fast. He cuts the engines. The wheels touch. The tires scream. The plane bounces, then settles, careening down the metal runway. It slows, drifting to the left. finally grinding to a halt just feet from the jungle edge. Silence. The props spin down to a stop. The only sound is the ticking of cooling metal and the wind in the palm trees. Ground crews rush the plane. They pry open the hatches. They find a scene of carnage. The plane has over 180 bullet holes. The stabilizers are shredded. They pull Zeamer out carefully. He is pale, barely breathing, but alive. They lift Sarnoski's body from the nose. He died defending his crew. A young sergeant who had been manning the waist gun steps out onto the grass. His knees buckle. He falls forward, pressing his face into the dirt, kissing the solid, unmoving earth. He grips the grass, sobbing, unable to believe the sensation of the ground beneath him. They call it the most decorated mission in history. Zeamer and Sarnoski receive the Medal of Honor. The rest of the crew receives the Distinguished Service Cross. But as the sun sets over the airfield, casting long shadows across the battered aluminum skin of old 666, there are no medals. There is only the quiet realization of survival. They looked death in the face, 5 miles above the earth, and they refused to blink.